Ah, Christmas. A time for decking halls, gulping down some mulled wine, and yuling some tides. But some dastardly teenagers from all across the globe have a slightly different Christmas tradition. That tradition is stealing plastic or ceramic figurines of baby Jesus from outdoor public and private shopfront nativity displays. No, I'm not joking. I'm being 100% serious right now. Now, I'm sure you have a million questions that you desperately want answers to. So without further ado, let's take a deeper dive into this extremely odd situation. While reports of theft of this kind have been recorded for decades, it seems like there has been an unusually large spike of Jesus-involved thefts over the last 20 years or so. Well, at least it seems so. Technically speaking, it is unclear whether such theft is on the rise, as it is not tracked by federal law enforcement in the US, the country where the problem seems to be found the most. But data from around the world seems to support the claim that more and more nativity set pieces are being vandalized every year. Some of the first thefts to attract media attention occurred back in 2008. The first report came in when a baby Jesus was stolen from a Methodist church in Katanning, Pennsylvania, and was replaced with a pumpkin. Not long after, in the town of Eureka Springs, Arkansas, a thief not only stole the baby Jesus from a public display, but also nicked the small concrete block and chain that was supposed to prevent the doll from being stolen in the first place. And then, only a couple days later, a baby Jesus was stolen from a display in Stony Point, New York. A town official commented on the Grinch-like act, saying, "If someone did it as a prank, I didn't find it funny. Although it is stealing, and it is clearly wrong, you've got to admit, it's pretty funny how seriously these town officials took the matter." But as previously mentioned, this issue is not just happening in the US, but is in fact occurring across the world. During some Christmases throughout the early to mid-2000s, the baby Jesus statue was often stolen from the outdoor nativity scene in the town of Jönköping in Sweden. On one occasion, it was even thrown into the nearby lake of Vättern. This has led to the nativity scene being closed before dark, out of fear of the baby Jesus being taken under the cover of darkness. Now, the main question you're probably wondering is, who and why? And the answer for both of those questions is the same: teenagers. Most of these pranks are pulled by bored teenagers with nothing better to do than steal an inanimate incarnation of an infant religious figurehead. You know, just usual teenage things. Although they might see it as a harmless act, the law will disagree with them on that front. I mean, after all, it is straight up stealing. Some communities, churches, and even some citizens are employing specialistic technology to protect their little baby Jesus. A Texas family, for example, positioned surveillance cameras in their yard and discovered a teenage girl stealing their baby Jesus doll, which cost them nearly $500. When the craze began to spike in 2008, a security device distributor offered its surveillance cameras and GPS devices to 200 nonprofit religious institutions for use in the holiday season. GPS protection has been met with some success. In one case, after a literal life-size ceramic nativity figurine of Jesus disappeared from the lawn of a community center in Wellington, Florida. Luckily, sheriff's deputies tracked it to an apartment where it was found lying face down on a carpet. An 18-year-old woman was arrested. While baby Jesus thefts are largely regarded as pranks, they are set apart by the involvement of a religious icon. Some have wondered if an anti-Christian sentiment lurks behind the thefts, but most argue that it's just the novelty of stealing a plastic child that makes it a weirdly fun tradition for these young people. And in a backhanded way, it almost shows the flaws of the modern celebration of Christmas. The historian Daniel Silliman once commented on the pranks, stating, "Baby Jesus thieves literally take the Christ out of Christmas. When they do, it becomes apparent that the sacred object is also a piece of property, protected by the law that protects property and this whole apparatus that defends Christmas. Fences and lights, tracking devices, and private security companies, patrolling police and the courts. The commercialization of Christmas is visible here in a way it might not be otherwise. That's the power of the joke." So the joke isn't on religion, but capitalism itself? Either way you slice it, this tradition is certainly one of the weirdest stories we've covered on this channel. And with that said, that brings us to the end of the video. Thanks for watching.